Number 10. Icon for Hire.
Testing our reality, check if there's a weak spot, clinging to insanity in hopes the
I was raised in a family that did not encourage rock music. I remember when I was 12, my parents took all of our CDs and like buried them in the backyard. It was like no more rock. So it was very conservative, restricted upbringing. So of course, what am I going to be, a rock star? Of course, that's what I tell them right away. Like, I'll show you, right? So I grew up very influenced by Linkin Park and Rage Against the Machine. I remember when Evanescence came out, I was inspired by that. But basically, I've always wanted to be a musician. So there really wasn't a whole lot of defining moments. It was just like, this is what I've wanted to do. There's such a theme for our songs. I'm sure it'll change for the next album, but for this record, I was very passionate about telling kids, because that's our most of our audience is teenagers, and I want to inspire them that the things that have happened to them, they don't have to hold on to that for their whole lives, and that doesn't have to define them. So the songs consistently are saying, you know, we've all had traumatic past. Every one of us has had a crappy life at some point, but don't let that stop you. Don't let that keep you in your basement watching TV the rest of your life, you know. So we hopefully can inspire our viewers and our listeners that there is life after that, and everyone has to get over it, and you should too. It's always been a core value for our band to not lose sight of what we're after, and that is to try to inspire kids, make a positive impact in their life. So at the end of the day, we want to sleep at night more than we want to be rich, and we want to stay true to who we are and have good relationships with each other, you know, more than we want to like feel super famous. Like, we don't get our identity as being in a band, you know, that's not who we are. Like, we're musicians and all that, but I'm still going to be able to sleep at night if I know that I'm doing the right thing, even if that isn't making us super rich and famous, even if we're sleeping in the van for 5 more years. You know, I'd rather be happy inside than like sell out and be big and famous.
I don't want to go and let you see all that has become of me. I should have known, I should have known, I didn't have a chance. How could I be?
Well, anytime we get to play our hometown is so special because we have a very supportive group there. We've got our family members coming from miles, and people that generally don't like rock music are still so supportive because they're our friends or they've kind of watched us grow up, you know, in that regard. So anytime we can play that, it's really cool. But this past spring, we had a chance to play a packed-out arena with Theory of a Dead Man and Hailstorm at the Prairie Capital Convention Center in Springfield, Illinois, and that was probably one of my favorite shows because it was just thousands of screaming, drunk, crazy rock fans, and that's exactly where we like to be. Well, it's really changed a lot for us. We started at just being like in the garage, you know, in a practice space. We're all behind our instruments, and then I remember when Lady Gaga came out, we were so inspired by some of her sounds and the weird production stuff, and a Britney Spears record really inspired us as well, and we were like, we need to put this weird, crazy production stuff in our music, and that means you can't just play your guitar, drums, and, you know, bass. You got to throw in all these cool computer sounds. So we started getting very involved in that, and that changed our style. All of a sudden now we're writing on Pro Tools in our computers instead of in like a live band setting. So we'll either do that or else I will write a song complete on the piano and bring that to the band, and then we'll make it a rock song.